Development Index, the Human Development Index.
अब न त यहुदी छ न ग्रीक न कोमारा
There is neither Jew nor Gentile, neither slave nor free, nor is there male and female, for you are all one in Christ Jesus.
हो।
The Christian Church teaches against discrimination on any basis. Time after time, Jesus embraced those whom others oppressed and ignored. We're here in this busy city of Kopila-Nepal on behalf of the Methodist Church in Ireland. We're visiting your World Development and Relief partner, Kopila-Nepal. Nepal has 5 million people living in poverty and sits 153rd out of 191 countries when it comes to healthcare, education and standard of living.
The most marginalised are women, children, those with a disability, and those struggling with mental health issues. And these are the very people with whom Kopila works. So let's dig a bit deeper into those communities and issues as we meet Bina Silwal, the Executive Director of Kopila. So Kopila does an awful lot.
Yes.
But and of course the context is poverty, but discrimination is something that complicates things for the women and the children that you work with. Could you say a little bit about how caste and gender impact the women and just prevents them from progressing in life?
You know that caste is a very, very big problem among Nepali society still, and then among the caste discrimination, women are double discriminated among the Dalit women because because of gender, they are women, they are discriminated by their family. At the same time, they are Dalit community and they are discriminated by overall society. So they should face double discrimination. Similarly, regarding the women are seen as a second-class citizen in our culture. And though we have equal rights in our act and laws, but still it is not into practice and they are badly surviving in domestic violence, sexual abuse, and other types of discrimination inside the family and in the society and even in politics.
Bina herself was fortunate to be born into a high caste family, the last of 9 children in a remote village. And she could never understand why those from lower castes and Dalit families were discriminated against. She was not allowed to bring Dalit children into the house, and if she ever touched such a child, Bina would have to take a bath. It was the culture. At school, Dalits were forced to sit in a separate place, and were not even allowed to drink from the same tap. In her own words, Bina says, "This unfairness touched my heart." And so Bina would talk with them and eat with them. Even at that young age, Bina challenged her parents. If mixing with lower caste and Dalits does not do us any harm, why do we do this? It is a bad culture. She says that people still cannot believe that she brings lower castes into her home to eat together. It was Bina's heart for people whom the rest of society seemed to ignore that led her husband Prakash, and good friend Tirtha to found a small organisation to help children in 2001. Its name was Kopila-Nepal, and it has grown. The Kopila team now impacts over 15,000 women, largely single mothers and widows from the lower castes, and their children, and those with disabilities. In the rural areas, Kopila form the ladies into self-help groups. These are groups of women with similar problems, single mothers and widows, so that there's an increased and a stronger voice, there's shared learning, and there's emotional support. Each month the women pay into a shared pot, just a few rupees, and in time one can take a loan and start a small business. So let's meet a couple of these ladies. First, Chabli in Bagwatar, and second, Duja in a little mountain village called Tang Ting. Chabli Gurung, now 55, was born into a poor farming family, and her parents could certainly not afford an education for her. Having never married, she was treated badly, as single women tend to be in Nepali culture. She was teased and humiliated, and as a result, her confidence was low, and she would stay indoors to avoid interacting with people. But in 2020, Kopila staff visited her home and told her of a new self-help group being formed in her area for single women, widows and those with disabilities. Chabli had found a place to grow and learn new farming skills. She even ventured to the nearest town, Pokhara, to receive training. From 2 initial goats, she now has a herd of 35 and is financially independent. With her newfound confidence and skills, Chabli has become a leader, with the community that once marginalised her coming to her for support and advice.
Because of your support, we are being able to stand up on our own feet, and then we financially we are very strong now, and then we hope your support will be continue.
Goat rearing to increase income may be a familiar enough story, but in Tang Ting village something very different is happening. Tang Ting is in the foothills of the Annapurna Mountains, and many tourists on trekking holidays pass through, as well as professionals doing research in the area. Kopila have trained local women in how to provide accommodation to these paying guests and offer a traditional experience.
The major objective of forming the self-help group is to help the woman like me. As she is telling, I am from very deprived woman, and so to help those women who are deprived in this community for their livelihood and justice. She is telling that from the local government, like when they jointly raise the voice, and then local government discuss about the possibilities of what sort of things is appropriate for this society, and then they provided some training about women's empowerment, about legal justice, and at the same time, as this area is very much popular for making the handicraft production, like carpet and blanket from the local materials. We called allo. That is a local plant. From that we can bring out the outer part as a skin, and then make soft, and then make a thread, and and then after they can make a cap, sweater, blanket, like a carpet and everything. And so government also invest for that in this community, and now recently government themselves have established a place for training and selling those things, and many of group member are member of that cooperative as well. And so it is she is connecting to the local group and government support.
होमस्टे भनेको नै
The homestay meaning that the whoever guest come to the home, we treat them as a member of family for everything. For the guest, first they welcome with the flowers or garland, and then they take to the room and leave them for the rest for the time being, and then they prepare the good food, whatever available in the community, and then they do some cultural program in the evening to give the entertainment to the guest.
मैले पनि अझै तालिमहरू यसरी पाएको भए
She's telling that if we continue to work on in her village, and still there are many families they hide the domestic violence abuse cases inside the home. If all those people give training about the domestic violence, about women's right, and their mind will be open and the case will come out, so that the family and society will be violence-free society.
Chablis and Duja each belong to self-help groups in their own areas. Kopila has established over 100 such groups with 3,000 members, and the longer-term aim is that this network of groups will become self-sufficient, able to organise and work for change themselves.
We're all from the Methodist Church in Ireland, and we have been partnering with Kopila for, I think, 17 years.
To facilitate this, representatives from each local self-help group also attend higher-level regional groups called Kopila Independent Development Societies, or KIDS for short. As they receive more training, grow in confidence, and harness their own abilities, they can become more independent of Kopila, and Kopila can move into new areas. Also at Tang Ting, Duja's village, we visited the secondary school. And at the school, the children put on a drama for us. But their drama was about something very serious. It was about discrimination and gender violence. Kopila work with the staff in many schools. They teach the children about these issues so that the next generation does not repeat the mistakes, the errors of their parents. And not only do the children put on the dramas for themselves and learn from that, they take these dramas into the streets of their village to teach their parents to change the way that they behave. The school has 150 pupils. Pramik China, one of the young actors, says,
Our drama is about caste-based discrimination and bad things happening in the community. We also talk about gender-based violence.
Her friend Nabina adds,
I hope discrimination will end and all children can be sent to school, regardless of their caste. I hope for us to be living together peacefully.
School Principal Gurung believes that drama is a good method for teaching about these important issues, not just in the school, but when they take the performances into the villages to educate the adults. Teacher Anita Adhikari says,
Kopila is famous in our country. They have a strong voice for the people who are poor and suffering. They seek out those in remote areas. Drama is the most powerful way of saying what is happening in our society. Through it, we can raise our voice.
You can only be impressed with what Kopila do and with how they do it with such compassion. World Development has been supporting Kopila with those self-help groups and kids groups, with safe homes in which women who suffered domestic violence can find a home again. And we're also doing a new thing with them, and we're supporting a fundraiser for 3 years so that they can source more funding. But, of course, Kopila is not our only partner, not your only partner. We have partners in Africa, in South America, in the Middle East. What you give, every penny goes to supporting their work, be it water, education, rights. And we thank you for your support. If we are really to live wholeheartedly as followers of Jesus, then this is one way we can do this well. Our Methodist Church asks us each to give 1%. Now, 1%, as soon as percentage is mentioned, may sound like a lot, but on average it means about £20 or €25 per month. Every year, about £300,000 or about €340,000 comes in. If we each member in our church gave its 1%, we would have over £3 million or over €3 million. Imagine what we could do. Imagine what our partners could do. 10 times what they do. We could have 10 times Chablis. We could have 10 times those kids groups. We could have 10 times the women looked after in safe homes, 10 times the number of children carrying out those dramas and learning about the errors of discrimination. Do we want to be 10 times better than we are? Well, we can if we give 1% and probably give it regularly through a standing order. And you'll see the means to do that in your annual report. You can go online, you can simply contact the office. But we can do so much more together and transform the world.
Luke 21, verses 1 to 4. As Jesus looked up, he saw the rich putting their gifts into the temple treasury. He also saw a poor widow put in 2 very small copper coins. Truly, I tell you, he said, this poor widow has put in more than all the others. All these people gave their gifts out of their wealth, but she, out of her poverty, put in all she had to live on.
It is a great pleasure for us, and we would like to, on behalf of all those women and girls and myself from Kopila-Nepal, I would like to give our sincere thanks for your support, and we hope it will be long partnership. Thank you for your kind heart.